Thank you, Pastor Stewart. It is awesome to be here this morning. This is not the kind of room that I usually play. Vegas, have you been to Vegas? No? You should go. They have real stages. And it's like 10 at night when people come to see me, and they drink a little. I was driving here this morning. I live in the Poconos, about an hour and a half from here, and I am on my way to Alabama this afternoon. So I was lamenting this long commute that I have today. And you ever feel bad about yourself and start, self-pity and, oh, woe is me. And then I saw a man in a hot air balloon about a mile and a half from here. It was 8 degrees out. I didn't feel so bad about my commute anymore. Pastor Stewart called me last week and he told me about your Lenten series on friendship. And I started to think, first of all, how many friends do I have? Does anybody know how many friends you have? How many friends do you have, ma'am? You don't know? Do you know? I know how many friends I have. I have 678 friends, according to Facebook. I checked this morning. I had 679 yesterday. I'm not sure what happened. 678 as of this morning. And then of course we know they're not our real friends. Those are people that we've met, people we share pictures with. And then I started to look at my son. I have a 3-year-old son, and thinking about the kind of friends he has. Now at 3, he can make friends with anything. He got a gift for Christmas. It's an inflatable, rubber, bouncy kangaroo thing, and he calls it Mr. Jumpy. And Mr. Jumpy has become his best friend. And he wakes up in the morning and he says, "Good morning, Mr. Jumpy." And he gets on Mr. Jumpy and he jumps through the kitchen and he jumps through the living room and he jumps into my bedroom and he says, "Good morning, Daddy, it's me and Mr. Jumpy, he's my friend." Mr. Jumpy is one of those friends that I regret that my son has. Do you guys have one? Every time Mr. Jumpy shows up, you know somebody's going to be in trouble. And another good friend my 3-year-old has is our dog Luke. Luke is a 9-year-old chocolate lab. Any chocolate lab fans here? Who's got a dog? Put your hand up if you have a dog. What kind of dog do you have, sir?
Golden Retriever.
Good dog. What kind of dog do you have, ma'am?
It's a mix of something that I have a lab, cockapoo.
Nice big dog.
Yeah.
Good dog. What kind of dog do you have? Over here. A cockapoo? That's a cat. It's not a dog. Okay, it's a dog for you. It's lunch for our dogs. Lukey is one of the best dogs I've ever had in my life. Lukey's not that smart. Lukey can entertain himself by licking the door for 3 or 4 hours. But what I love about Lukey is I can go to the store and come back 10 minutes later, and Lukey comes to the door and says, "Oh, good, you're back. I love you. I miss you." Lukey's one of my only friends that every time I come up to him says, "Oh, good, you're back. I love you. I miss you." And the reason my son loves Lukey is because my son can stick his thumb in Lukey's eye, and Lukey doesn't leave. My son can take Mr. Jumpy and jump on Lukey's head, and Lukey doesn't leave. Lukey does sometimes look at me and say, "Could you please, with the jumpy thing?" Really? But Lukey is so loyal. Lukey reminds me of my friend Bob that I went to high school with. Bob and I were best friends in high school, and Bob and I worked landscaping for a summer, back when I thought that was a fun job, which now, no way. Wouldn't work landscaping for an hour, but we worked landscaping for a summer, and we were breaking up a concrete patio and carrying the broken pieces of concrete into the truck. And I can remember one day, I dropped one on Bob's finger and shattered his pinky. Now, Bob and I are friends, so to this day, Bob and I can laugh. I can see Bob and I can say, "Hey, Bob, remember that time I broke your finger?" And Bob laughs, and it's all fun and games, because Bob's my friend. Bob, trust me. Another friend that my young son has is a kid named Mason. Mason's about a year older than Cody, and when Mason and Cody get together, we're never sure what's going to happen, but we always make sure we have our phones, because someday we're going to have to call an ambulance. Mason and Cody get together, and there are sparks, and there is trouble, and there is energy. And I had a friend named Bobby in 1st grade, and I can remember one day me and Bobby colored our faces with magic markers. And we were so proud. We went up to our teacher, Mrs. Davis, and we said, "Look what we did, look at our faces." And Mrs. Davis said, "Go to the bathroom and wash." And it was that day that the artist within me died, but that's a separate conversation. Bobby and I, and Mason and Cody, when we get together, something's going to happen. There's an energy, there's an excitement, there's a passion for life. My friends have been my friends have seen me through trouble, have seen me at my worst, have never judged me, have spent time with me, have had conversations with me that I would be terrified to have with my family. And we've lived through all of that, and we've grown closer together. You guys have a great Lenten series coming up that's based on the Scripture and about building a friendship relationship with God and with Christ through spending time in Scripture. I hope you take full advantage of all the resources that this church gives you. I noticed your student ministry program that was just on the video. It's about relationship. It's about being and not doing. It's about participating in and not sitting by and watching. That's what this series is about. That's what being a friend is. That's what it means to spend time with somebody and get to know them. So enjoy that Lenten series. Take it for everything that it's worth. Take it so seriously that it makes you a little bit uncomfortable. And then remember, with your friends, it's okay to be a little bit uncomfortable. God bless you guys. Thanks for having me out. Have a great morning.